Good morning, traders. Today is Tuesday, April 5th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. All right, well, I wanted to start today zoomed out on the daily. This isn't going to be super helpful analysis, but I just wanted to point out that the market could really go either direction from here. I could easily make a case if we could get above the overnight high that we're heading up to test the highs from last week. That could very easily be a target for the market today if this move is going to get continuation. But I could also see an alternative, which is where we're developing a downtrend here. We could get continuation lower this morning, and then if we break yesterday's low, that could lead to further selling, targeting lower prices. So whichever way today breaks, I think we should get a pretty decent move, either a break up towards the highs from last week or a break lower towards the lows from Friday, and just kind of see which direction the market breaks from where it currently is. Now, my assumption is that we're going to break to the upside. I'm feeling a little more bullish than bearish this morning. And my reason is this. First off, yesterday's value was higher. So that is an indication that we've broken the downtrend we were in, and we're beginning a new trend to the upside. So that is a little bit bullish to see. We also had a spike up at the end of the day yesterday, and we closed at the top of the spike. So that was bullish. We are opening below the spike today. So that's sort of a neutral signal. That's the least bullish scenario that you can get in terms of the spike, but the spike is still bullish. So that to me is a little bit bullish to see. And then the overnight also just rotated in the upper end of the range, and that is also bullish to me because that tells me that there are likely buyers waiting inside these nodes of volume from yesterday's range. So we're going to open today inside the previous day's range and inside the previous day's value area. So that increases the odds the market is going to get chopped this morning. It's just going to grind up and down. And so I'm looking at support and resistance to see where the market's going to find support. Does it find it in this node around 45.61? Does it find resistance around here, around the 45.72 area? Do we go down to here? So on and so forth. Wherever it finds support and resistance during this chop that we're likely to get here for the first half an hour or so of the day, will give us a clue as to which direction it's going to break. Okay. If we break this node here, if we start to head below 45.52, I would look for continuation towards yesterday's low. But I am of the opinion we will find support in here. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the chop. Getting above yesterday's high, pretty much getting above this big node that we have right here around 72. Getting above there and coming back down and finding support would be bullish for continuation to the upside, at the very least to test the overnight high, but even further. So slightly riskier entry would be getting above this node, and then buying the pullback. Even stronger entry, getting above the high from yesterday, finding support, and buying that for continuation. Otherwise, we assume resistance and chop. All right, well, the move is bullish, but the structure is pretty weak. We got multiple areas with less than 100 contracts. So the structure is very weak here. But getting right into this node right away, that's pretty bullish. As a first potential signal, there's some strength in the market. So now we're looking for support around halfback, 45.67. All right, same thing for the NQ here. Looking for chop as they opened in the previous day's range. If this support at 15.087 breaks, the next support will be around 15.041. But the overnight trade is bullish as well. All right, well, the internals are starting to look really good. You've got all three of them have now pushed, all three of these three have now pushed through the zero line, and that just brought in more buyers, so that is bullish. All right, well, moving up with this much ease when we would expect a lot more chop is a when what should happens doesn't. That gets us bullish here for continuation to the upside. So now we are looking to buy support. Don't FOMO in at the high. But if they pull back down into this node, it's buyable as support or the halfback. Even honestly, all the way down here, 45.66, potential buyable support. But this move is bullish because there should have been more resistance in the market here. I would say if we can break the overnight high, which is where this big cumulative node is right here, if we can get above that, come back down and find some support, we can likely get continuation all the way up here to repair this weak reference. I could see that jump happening. Let's wait and see what happens at that overnight high. Okay, first potential support 45.72.75. Then the halfback at 45.69.75. Good morning, Diego and Scooball. Welcome. Jeremy and Cyrus. Good to see you. Welcome. Joe is here. Nor Auto Trader in the house. Greg H. Hi to you. Dean. Good morning. Jay Trader is here. David Glass also with us. Boss Man. Good morning to you. Nick G. NQ Laggin. Yeah, that still looks pretty strong to me. I mean, good taper at the low. Finding support. Right at the lower end of the support we have from yesterday's node around the POC. So that is bullish as well. Not quite as bullish as the ES. Brett, good morning to you. Same as I just said, it's still bullish. It's just not as bullish. But it still has a lot of strength. Look at the way the overnight traded on the NQ. I mean, they just danced right on the high. They danced right inside the spike most of the night. That's not sellers up there. You know what I mean? So there'll be some strong resistance in there that we'll have to work our way through. But if we can get through that resistance, come back down and find some support around yesterday's high, rocket ship, baby. That was a crazy big bar on the advancers versus decliners. They're buying momentum this morning. Jay Trader, yesterday's close was some resistance. Yeah, it was, but not that much. I mean, when you open inside the previous day's range, we opened literally like just a few ticks off from yesterday's point of control. You would definitely expect some chop, some grinding up and down, having to spend some time down here. So instantly getting up to yesterday's high and now building up support at yesterday's high, that is bullish. So I think the overnight high is certainly in play here. And we'll see if we get resistance there. Jose, good morning to you. Hustler Forever, good morning. Jack, good morning to you. T-Bay, YM, and ES are playing together. I'm sure all four of the indices are bouncing around. Tug of war at each other. All right, NQ looks like it might break this support. So the next support is down at 15,040. Still not bearish by any means. Still inside yesterday's value. At this point, if 45.74 on the ES breaks, I'll go back to neutral. If the buyers are going to take us to the overnight high, they should find support in here. Auction. Hope market continues to the upside today. I think there's a pretty good chance of that. Like I said, my assumption is that this pullback we had at the end of last week was just balance. We got a little too hot, a little too quick. Market had to pull back, but now we can head back up into that range once again. But we shall see. Pivotal moment here. What's going to happen at yesterday's high? Do we get the support to push us up to the overnight high? It feels like we will. But that NQ is tugging us down. Come on, NQ. Lighten up. Man, NQ is literally just grinding exactly inside that node right around yesterday's POC. That's a little more sign of uncertainty. They're not as confident to take price above yesterday's Ferris price. But that's why I say if they can get through this resistance right here, through basically the spike from yesterday, and come back down and find support, ooh boy, that would be good for long. But they don't seem to have the buyers just yet. All right, well, I'm going to switch my stance back to neutral. I still feel more bullish, but I don't think we got the support right here for continuation higher. We should have found the support at yesterday's high. So the fact that we're pulling back down into yesterday's range is a sign we don't quite have the buyers yet. So I'm now looking for support around 73. Any target, excuse me, any targets for NQ? Sure. For support to the downside, 15,026. If that breaks, you're looking at further downside continuation. So if like 15,026 breaks, you're looking at like 14,950s. But that should hold us support. If we can get through that high from yesterday, I mean, I would target 15,280. This big node on the cumulative up here. If you can get through that, come back down and find some support, that becomes the next target. But they don't have the buyers yet, so we're heading down to the next support. So on the ES, we're watching this 72, 73 level. We had the base of the spike up yesterday. We had this large node of volume. We have all this time we spent in here in the overnight. So all of that should act as support. Brett, I'm going to call a liquidation break on the NQ. Looks like you got it. Not a very big one, but it's happening. So again, looking for support between this node and the halfback. 1540. Scooball, shouldn't we get a little pullback there at the ES? Yeah. This might be it, though. We're getting support right inside the spike. Arthur, good morning to you. J-Trader, thank you for the reminder. Please smash that like button. 114 people hanging out. Only 30 give me a thumbs up. Come on, y'all. Little thumbs up for the pirate. Come on. All right, well, I guess we got that support. Now the question is it enough to get through this resistance that we just created at yesterday's high? If so, we should be able to get to the overnight high as the next stop. If not, the chop will continue. So I don't like you today. Okay, fair enough. Give me the thumbs down. I can take it. Jitten, good morning. Jay Hood, I appreciate that. He says, if any of you who join the free stream on a regular basis are not members, then what are you waiting for? It's well worth more than $10 to join. I concur. If you find value in listening to me for the first hour of the day, certainly you could find some value in listening to me all day. Remember, $10 is less than a single point on the ES. Do you think if you had my guidance all day, every day, in an entire month, you could make one single point of profit as a result? Then it would be a good deal. Something to consider. Link in the bio. I mean, the description. Bossman, on a test of the base of the spike, do you look for a quick response reaction from short time frame for support? Not in particular. A base of a spike is an area where the market had a change, right? So we could say that yesterday in the latter half of the day, what basically happened was the market pushed higher in the morning and then it was just rotating at higher prices. So the base of that spike is essentially where a change took place at the end of the day, that the market said, we're done going sideways. We're ready to break out to the upside. So that's sort of like an important level because that's where that change occurred. And you can see overnight, they didn't bring in a ton of volume around that level, but they did spend a ton of time right around there. And that, again, just confirms that this is an important sort of deal or no deal level for the market. So when it comes to finding support there, you would expect to find both short-term and long-term support. If the market wants to move higher and you're a bigger, deeper pocket, longer-term player, recognizing that, when the market closes up here yesterday, this would be a great place to buy today. So you would expect support there from both time frames. All right, we're pushing up into that resistance at yesterday's high. Can we break through it this time? Break on through to the other side? Break on through? Break on through? Break on through to the other side? Herman, hi to you. Thank you, Greg H. Appreciate it, brother. Diane, I only trade ES until 10:30. Well, then you're lucky. You get the freebie. Enjoy. Scubal, but ticks. Yeah, the ticks don't look great. All right, well, getting through that resistance has me bullish once again to try to test that overnight high. We, of course, now want to see that yesterday's high act as support. So we don't want to pull back down again into here. We want to find support in this node. But if we do, we should be able to get continuation higher. And yes, the ticks do make it much harder to be bullish here. J Hood, I got thrown out of a bar for playing LA Woman too many times. I must admit that has never happened to me. ES market. Okay, well, as we're working our way towards that overnight high, we're also pulling the value area higher. That is bullish as well. It is a sign that the market is still looking for more excess to the upside. So this node of cumulative volume here to the left, that is what we now need to work our way through. So same as with the high from yesterday, if we can now get above that overnight high, come back down and find support, same way we just did here, right? We poked above, came back down, poked above again, then boom, found support. That got us to the overnight high. If we can do the same thing again on the overnight high, push above, come back down, find support, I would say the next stop well, there'll be some resistance up at like 4,600 area. But the next stop would be 4,611, repairing that weak reference. Someone from the Fed is speaking. Thank you for the heads up, Rocket. Wow, 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 wow. Man, those ticks just are not playing around today, are they? Jesus. Every attempt to get above the zero line just gets punched right in the face. All right, well, my apologies, guys. Sorry for the fake out there. I hope you took profits at the overnight high. But this market is not ready yet. So now this has become a look above and fail of yesterday's range, which gets a little more bearish. So looking for support around 72. And then 65. Charles, should we be getting super bearish? You said look above and fail. That's a scary term. Value is still higher than yesterday, at least on the ES. NQ values inside yesterday. Oh man, NQ support broke. Next support 14,982-ish. Damn. Liquidation. All right, guys. Well, remember, a liquidation break like this often brings in stronger hand buyers. Damn. Below the opening price. Okay, well, that's bearish. All right, we're starting to get some new sellers piling on to the liquidation break. That is bearish. Shit, man. Next support for the ES is around 4,555. I don't know what this dude from the Fed is saying right now, but it's scaring people. It's worth noting whenever this thing finds support, because it's a liquidation break, it can reverse very, very, very quickly and head right back up. But for now, it has not found support yet. All right, so we got pink candles now inside the liquidation break. So we look to see, are the ticks still below the zero line? Yes, they are. That is more sellers piling on. I would say if on the ES, if 45.54 or 45.54, if that breaks, we could be heading all the way down towards yesterday's low as a look above and fail. So the buyers need to step in now if they're going to hold up this market. Arthur, it was a big fake out going up yesterday, 2 days straight down. I disagree with you. I think something just happened and there's been a change in the market, but I think this morning was bullish. We got value overlapping to higher. That's not easy to do. So there had to be a lot of buying up here above yesterday's Ferris prices to bring that value overlapping to higher. So the market does see this as a fair price to do business. It's just something happened. Somebody said something and it caused a liquidation. So once again, just a note, if we break 54, we're likely to get a second liquidation lower. So this is the moment for the buyers. Yet the sellers continue to pile on. All right, yeah, I guess it's this Brainard guy getting the market bearish AF. Ooh, boy, we're breaking that last support. Yikes, this is looking like a big look above and fail of yesterday's range. I hate to say it, but the next stop is pretty much down here around yesterday's low, 45.32-ish. That's where you've got some cumulative support. That's where you got some volume. Waiting for, buyers waiting down there. But every move between has been very quick with the regular trading hours. Very quick down, very quick up. So there's not a lot of support in here. I mean, same story for NQ. 14,900-ish. Next support to the downside. You can clearly see the liquidation break with new sellers piling on. Things got bearish quick. TV. They are saying more work ahead, and they are scaring children. Scaring someone. Somebody is panicking out of their positions. Element, you think we're going to break that support, Charles? You mean the support that we're getting right now, or the support around yesterday's low? It's tough to say. I think the thing about emotional selling, like panic selling based on something that somebody says in the news or whatever, is it can retrace really quickly. So the thing is, auction process wise, this thing looks really bearish and like we need to pull down towards yesterday's low in order to find support. But honestly, if it randomly found support and turned around and rotated back up above the opening price, I also wouldn't be surprised, because I would go, okay, they overreacted to the news. The market had a minute to absorb it, and now we're fine once again. So it's kind of a tough guess. But right now, the momentum is clearly to the downside. So we have not found support yet. Element, the one we're at right now, well, obviously not. We've already kind of started to break it. And like I said, when we passed through these areas before, during the regular trading hours, lots of trade, two-sided trade, and then boom, straight through. Lots of two-sided trade, and then boom, straight through. Did two-sided trade this day, next day, boom, straight through. So there's just not a lot of strong support in there, as we are seeing right now. All right, we've got a low volume node right here at about 45.56 or 55.25 with only 86 contracts on it. That is likely to need to get backfilled at some point. And then we would look for resistance in the node just above at 58. Laser Eye, good morning to you. Trading Donkey, big ass intraday gap on the ADD. Yeah, I'm sure I've seen gaps there before, but it's not something I've ever noticed in terms of what to expect as a result. Something changed. It changed instantly in a moment. Somebody said something. Okay, so now we're looking to backfill that 45.56.25 level and looking for resistance just above at 57. Well, the NQ looks like it's in a balancing area. So you may be targeting, again, yesterday's lows on the Q if we keep getting more selling. But look for support there. Yeah, and support around 45.35 for the Q, or for the ES. So yeah, as we enter the C period here, boy, I sure wish I spent $10 to join a brigade so that I could trade with a team today and not be all alone, wondering what the market's going to do. So yeah, the market is reacting to news right now, and it's not boding well for the fact that it had a sell-off based on the news, and now we're getting more sellers. Like the more time we have to digest it, we're getting more and more selling. So that is a little bit bearish to see. We left some single prints behind here in the B period, so we'll be looking for resistance at 45.60 for continuation lower. And yeah, going to kind of feel this day out as we go. Could be sideways right inside the range. That's probably the most likely scenario, as we just rotate around inside the range that we've just established in the initial balance. Or continuation lower. All right, with that, I bid you all farewell. I wish you a great rest of your day. And if you are not a member of the brigade, I shall see you here tomorrow morning. Thanks a lot.